Netflix can predict if you'll cancel before you even think about it. Right now, as you're binge-watching your favorite series, sophisticated algorithms are analyzing every click, every pause, every time you browse without watching anything. They're building a profile of your engagement, and they can tell with scary accuracy whether you'll hit that cancel button in the next 30 days. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now across every major streaming platform. Spotify knows when you're losing interest in music. Disney Plus can predict when families are about to drop their subscription. And they're all using this knowledge to keep you hooked. Today we're pulling back the curtain on churn prediction, the multi-billion-dollar science of knowing when customers are about to leave, and what companies do to stop them. Let's start with why this matters so much to streaming companies. We're living in the age of subscription fatigue. The average American household now subscribes to 2.8 streaming services, spending over $47 per month. But here's the kicker. The average monthly churn rate across streaming services is between 3 to 5%. That means every single month, up to 1 in 20 subscribers are canceling. For Netflix, with over 260 million subscribers worldwide, a 1% increase in churn rate could cost them over $1 billion annually. For smaller platforms fighting for market share, churn can be the difference between survival and bankruptcy. But here's what makes this even more critical. Acquiring a new customer costs 5 to 25 times more than retaining an existing one. So streaming companies have become obsessed with one question. How do we predict who's about to leave before they actually do? Enter churn prediction, a machine learning technique that's revolutionizing how companies think about customer retention. At its core, churn prediction uses historical data to identify patterns that precede cancellations. First, the algorithm analyzes data from customers who have already canceled. It looks at their behavior in the weeks and months leading up to cancellation. What shows did they watch? How often did they log in? Did they change their payment method? Did they contact customer service? The machine learning model identifies subtle patterns that humans would never notice. Maybe customers who watch more than 3 hours on weekdays but less than 1 hour on weekends are 40% more likely to cancel. Or perhaps users who browse for more than 10 minutes without starting anything are showing early warning signs. Once trained, the algorithm continuously scores every active subscriber. You might have a churn risk score of 15%, meaning the algorithm believes there's a 15% chance you'll cancel in the next 30 days. Someone else might score 85%, putting them in the high-risk category that triggers immediate intervention. Modern churn prediction doesn't just predict if you'll cancel. It predicts when, why, and what might convince you to stay. It's like having a crystal ball that peers into subscriber behavior. So what exactly are these algorithms watching? The answer might surprise you. They're tracking virtually everything you do on their platform. Your watching habits are the strongest predictor of churn. The algorithm notices when you stop finishing shows you used to complete, decrease your weekly viewing time by more than 20%, start browsing longer without watching anything, switch to watching only older content instead of new releases, begin watching shorter content when you used to prefer longer series. Research shows that churn rarely happens suddenly. There's typically a 30 to 60-day decline period where engagement gradually decreases. Users might go from watching 10 hours per week to 8, then 6, then 4 before finally canceling. The algorithm also monitors your payment behavior. Failed payment attempts, switching from annual to monthly billing, downgrading from premium to basic plans, geographic location changes that might indicate financial stress. Perhaps the strongest predictor is customer service contact. Users who reach out about billing issues, content complaints, technical problems, cancellation inquiries, even if they don't follow through, are flagged as extremely high risk. In fact, customers who contact support are 3 to 4 times more likely to churn within 30 days. The algorithms even track technical patterns, which devices you use and when, video quality issues or buffering complaints, app crashes or login problems, time spent on account settings pages. Advanced systems incorporate external data, social media sentiment about shows, demographic trends in your area, seasonal patterns, people often cancel before summer vacations, competition analysis, what new shows are launching on rival platforms. Once the algorithm identifies you as at risk, the real magic happens. Streaming services deploy sophisticated retention strategies that feel personal but are actually automated responses to your churn risk score. If you're showing signs of disengagement, the platform might promote new releases in your favorite genres more aggressively, send personalized emails about shows you might have missed, Adjust your homepage to feature more engaging content. Create custom collections like "Because You Watched" with fresh suggestions. High-risk users often receive discounts on upgrades to premium plans, free months or trial extensions, family plan promotions, gift subscriptions for friends. The AI doesn't just decide what offer to make, it determines when. Maybe you're most receptive to promotions on Friday evenings, or perhaps you respond better to emails than in-app notifications. Some platforms use predictive analytics to reach out before you even complain. We noticed you might be having streaming issues, here's how to fix them. Your favorite show just got renewed for another season. Based on your watching history, we think you'd love this new documentary. Networks actually consider churn prediction when making content decisions. If data shows that comedy fans are churning at higher rates, they might fast-track new comedy series, acquire more comedy specials, create comedy-focused marketing campaigns. Platforms create engagement beyond just watching. Interactive polls about shows, behind-the-scenes content, social features that let you share with friends, exclusive interviews with actors from your favorite shows. But here's where things get complicated. Is it ethical for companies to manipulate our behavior based on predictions about our future actions? First, there's the privacy issue. These algorithms know incredibly intimate details about your life, your daily routines and sleep patterns, your emotional state based on content choices, your financial situation based on payment behavior, your relationship status based on viewing patterns. Some critics argue that this level of surveillance crosses ethical boundaries. You're not just a customer, you're a data point being constantly analyzed and manipulated. More troubling is the question of manipulation. When Netflix shows you a specific movie because its algorithm predicts you're about to cancel, is that helpful personalization or psychological manipulation? Some tactics feel manipulative, making cancellation buttons hard to find, requiring phone calls instead of online cancellation, showing your friends will miss your recommendations messages, creating artificial urgency, this offer expires in 24 hours. Supporters argue that churn prediction actually improves user experience. You get more relevant content recommendations. Technical issues are resolved proactively. You're offered better deals when you need them. The overall service becomes more personalized and valuable. There's also a fundamental tension. The more transparent companies are about their prediction algorithms, the less effective they become. If you know Netflix is trying to prevent your cancellation, you might become resistant to their recommendations. The most successful streaming services are learning to balance aggressive retention with genuine customer satisfaction. They're discovering that the best way to prevent churn isn't manipulation. It's actually delivering value. Smart companies focus on improving content quality based on user feedback, investing in better streaming technology, creating genuine value through exclusive content, building emotional connections with their brand. Industry leaders are adopting more ethical approaches, using churn prediction to identify product improvements, not just push promotions, being transparent about data collection and use, offering genuine value and retention offers, focusing on user experience improvements over manipulation. Disney Plus has relatively low churn rates not because of aggressive retention tactics, but because they've built a service that families genuinely find valuable. Their churn prediction focuses more on content planning than manipulation. Netflix has shifted from purely recommendation-based retention to content investment. They use churn prediction to understand what types of content keep subscribers engaged, then invest billions in creating that content. Progressive platforms are giving users more control, clearer cancellation processes, pause subscriptions instead of canceling, transparent explanations of recommendations, opt-out options for marketing communications. So what does all this mean for you as a consumer? First, recognize that your streaming behavior is being analyzed. Every click, every pause, every show you abandon halfway through is data that influences how the platform treats you. You can use this knowledge to your advantage. If you're genuinely considering canceling, you might receive better retention offers. Understanding that recommendations are influenced by churn risk can help you make more conscious viewing choices. You can actively seek out content you want rather than just consuming what's recommended. Ask yourself, am I watching this because I want to, or because the algorithm is nudging me? Are the retention offers I'm receiving actually valuable to me? Is this service genuinely improving my life, or am I just being manipulated to stay? Simply knowing that these systems exist makes you less susceptible to manipulation. You can appreciate helpful personalization while remaining skeptical of overly convenient retention offers. Looking ahead, churn prediction is becoming even more sophisticated. We're moving towards systems that can predict not just when you'll cancel, but exactly what type of content would convince you to stay. Future systems might analyze your social media to understand your interests, use voice recognition to detect frustration in customer service calls, integrate with smart home devices to understand your entertainment patterns, predict life changes that might affect your subscription needs. As these systems become more sophisticated, we face a paradox. The better they get at predicting our behavior, the more they might influence it. We could end up in a world where AI doesn't just predict what we want, it shapes what we want. But there's also an optimistic scenario where churn prediction leads to genuinely better entertainment experiences. Imagine platforms that predict exactly when you need comfort content versus challenging content, recommend shows that align with your life circumstances, create content specifically designed for your interests, provide entertainment that genuinely improves your well-being. The next time you open Netflix, Spotify, or any streaming service, remember that you're not just browsing content. You're participating in a sophisticated prediction system that's constantly learning about you. Whether that's creepy or convenient depends largely on how these companies choose to use their power. Have you noticed streaming services trying to win you back when you were considering canceling? What retention tactics have you experienced? Share your stories in the comments below. I'd love to hear about your encounters with these prediction systems. And if you found this peek behind the streaming curtain fascinating, hit that subscribe button. We're exploring how AI is changing every aspect of our digital lives, one algorithm at a time. The machines might know when you're about to cancel, but understanding how they know gives you the power to make truly informed decisions about your entertainment choices. Subscribe for more videos about AI, technology, and digital privacy. Check out our related videos on recommendation algorithms and data privacy.